Ironically, Candace Parker is in a little bit of a hot seat right now.
Yeah, she probably shouldn't go to Chicago.
The WNBA's unwritten rule was broken by Candace Parker, and now she's being pursued. If you have been following along, you are already aware of the present situation in women's basketball. Caitlin Clark, the league's fastest-growing star, is shattering records, selling out arenas, driving historic ratings, and still receiving criticism for it. The weird part comes next. It's not only her. Anyone who dares to back her without giving every other player the same amount of praise is instantly targeted. It's not exaggerated. It's currently happening to Candace Parker, one of the most honored legends the league has ever produced. It is now undeniable that Caitlin Clark is the force behind the WNBA's expansion. Time Athlete of the Year in her rookie season, 4th in MVP voting, and the record holder for single-season assists. If you are not generational, you wouldn't post a resume like that. Here's the issue, though. Saying that aloud without adding, and by the way, everyone else is just as important, makes you a contributing factor. The crowd leaps, and Candace is experiencing precisely that. Although she had consistently praised Caitlin for months, she went one step farther this week. Not only was Clark shielded from one of the most ridiculous talking points that were being made, but the players who were promoting it were also brought back into the spotlight. You could sense the change at that point. Candace was no longer merely protecting a player. She was publicly voicing her opposition to a whole story. And you're not meant to cross that boundary in this league. What did she say then? And why is the old guard reacting negatively to it? We're going to dissect it. To ensure you don't miss what happens next, hit the like button and subscribe if you're enjoying watching Candace battle the WNBA mob.
I just think that when you bring opinions to the table, you gotta have something to back it up. So you can't just say stuff.
Unfortunately, you're learning this the hard way, Candace. The WNBA simply does not operate that way at the moment. For many, the playbook has been the same when it comes to Caitlin Clark's impact, both on the court and in the league's finances. Either conceal it or minimize it till it doesn't seem significant. Furthermore, you don't need to believe me. Take a look at what ESPN did with the data from the All-Star Games.
It's fine to just say, just post the ratings. That is fine. That is absolutely fine. But, it is another situation than pretending like Caitlin Clark doesn't exist.
The game this year was not compared to the one last year. The one in which Caitlin Clark really performed, not at all. They completely ignored it and went back to 2023.
Why?
Because they would have been compelled to acknowledge the truth if they had made a comparison to the previous year. Without Caitlin Clark on the court, ratings dropped by 36%. And I don't give a damn about who you are. Unless you want to hide the Caitlin Clark effect and pretend that the league is doing well without her, there is no good reason to remove the most recent year. The problem is that this is nothing new. This is the biggest hit of the old guard mob. They've imposed this strange condition despite the fact that Caitlin is actually making everyone in the W wealthy. Her success cannot be only celebrated. You must also add compliments to everyone else. You are accused of destroying the league if you don't. And when the topic of Angel Ree comes up, that double standard really gets going. Candace really stepped into the fire at this point. The WNBA appears to be fixated on making Angel Reese as popular as Caitlin Clark for reasons the league has never been able to quantify. Listen, give credit where credit is due. Angel's brand development has been outstanding. There isn't a player with more name awareness at the moment outside of Caitlin. Here's a reality check, though. Without the mob showing there, nobody can say anything. In terms of skill and financial influence, Angel Ree is not comparable to Caitlin Clark. And as soon as you bring that up, there's an immediate outcry. It won't matter, because if you honestly compare Angel Ree to Caitlin Clark, you'd think you just committed a hate crime. You can bring the receipts, you can cite the statistics, you can even point out that Angel's own team moved to a 20,000-seat arena specifically for games against Caitlin Clark, and they still can't sell out Winrust Arena, which is half the size. The pylon arrives that fast. In the meanwhile, Caitlin Clark's season is open. When she is the target, nobody blinks. Additionally, the usual suspects have been hovering like vultures, taking advantage of Caitlyn's absences for the majority of this season and her underwhelming performance in the games she has played to further undermine her effect. For example, ESPN commentator Carolyn Peck did more than simply commend the Fever after they defeated the Aces after winning the Commissioner Cup without Caitlyn. She outright suggested that it could be better for the Fever if Caitlin Clark wasn't there.
Look, I think that Indiana is even more dangerous when Caitlin Clark doesn't play because she's a ball-dominant guard. The ball's in her hands a lot, so you know what you need to try to take away. But when you look at Indiana now, they've got so many weapons.
And believe me, that was only the beginning of this narrative loop because rather than enjoying the Fever's 5-game winning streak, the better without Caitlyn chatter immediately returned.
We have to deal with the possibility that the Indiana Fever right now, in this moment, are better without Caitlin Clark. And that sounds crazy, and people are saying, how can you say that? I'm saying it because we're seeing it.
Subtle jabs have given way to blatant rejection. In fact, others are arguing that Caitlin Clark isn't that good.
See, he always trying to push this CC narrative. She good, but she not that good.
This is what they would prefer you not to hear. With Caitlin Clark in the lineup, the Fever are now 8-5, 9-9 without her. That is a mic drop, not just a statistic. Reality smacks this better without her narrative back down every time it appears. However, this is the WNBA's current situation. Someone is going to take advantage of any opportunity to minimize Caitlyn's influence. It makes little difference whether the evidence quickly disproves them. And that's why the next step is so crucial. Because WNBA legend Candace Parker enters this mess, not just standing up for Caitlin Clark, but also outright contradicting the mob's preferred storylines. And in the process, she's turning into something of a martyr. Yes, Candace had previously complimented Caitlyn, but this is where she began to receive criticism. When asked about the league's annoyance of Caitlyn receiving all the spotlight on ESPN's First Take, she didn't mince words. She chose not to provide the safe response. Her words were direct, sensible, and just what the haters didn't want to hear. And it triggered the subsequent wave of indignation.
It's so crazy to me because I'm asked so many times if I'm resentful in any type of way for where the WNBA is right now. My job was to leave the game better than I came into it. You think Cheryl Miller is resentful for me that I had a league to play in? No, she's being the mentor that she is, and she's supporting and loving and sitting courtside cheering on Juju Watkins. And I'm doing the same for Caitlin Clark and all the women in the WNBA.
Candace didn't tread carefully. She didn't mince words. Stop being jealous, stop being insecure, and start focusing on the amazing fact that Caitlin Clark is about to make everyone rich. She essentially addressed the WNBA as she stared directly into the camera. The kind of basic reason that is totally radioactive to the mob and evident to admirers. She continued after that. Candace immediately responded to Jamal Hill's small jab on Caitlyn's mistakes.
Freakish floor vision. I know she had that 10 turnover game.
Yeah.
But that's something.
That's like a learning. I think all of us
Exactly.
young
She'll get-
turn the ball over,
she'll get better.
and especially when you're the focal point of the entire defense. You're gonna have more turnovers. You're gonna have more live ball situations, and the competitive element of you do tend to take chances early on, and you learn that sometimes it might be a highlight, but 7 out of 10 times it's probably gonna be a turnover. And I had to learn that because I was, some of the biggest things with Pat was like offensive rebounding and me turning the ball over. So those are the two things. I get it.
She didn't apologize or change her position. Once more, she stood up for Caitlyn. This is where Candace got into serious trouble, though. In the eyes of the old guard, anyway. Because Candace committed the ultimate cardinal sin of the WNBA when the discussion turned to a comparison between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. She spoke very highly of Caitlyn.
This is where it gets tricky. Caitlin Clark is at an A level. I think in time she's gonna raise up to that S, but in order to put her at that level, you gotta have a couple more years. So Then you got Angel Reese. I put her right at that C level. I think in terms of being above, you have to be able to have the ability to carry a team, be a 1 or 2 option. I think Angel Reese is fantastic at her role, which is offensive rebounding. She showed and demonstrated so much growth in that first year.
Angel Tyre Reese. That was it. The petrol and the match. Angel's admirers went crazy. Posts claiming Candace was out of touch and urging her to take notes from Asia Wilson and Lisa Leslie, who never failed to compliment Angel, were all over X. And the crowd took it personally rather than arguing the matter. Cheryl Swoops herself jumped in because the situation grew so bad and the criticism was so strong.
Yeah, she probably shouldn't go to Chicago. You probably shouldn't send her back to Chicago. But go ahead, Jordan.
There is no room for objectivity. You're banned in this environment if you give Caitlin Clark a compliment without immediately calling Angel Ree an A-tier player. For a period. Candace, however, did not recoil. She didn't say sorry. She intensified her efforts.
That being said, the facts that I want to bring to this table, and I challenge anybody to tell me, what player are you taking Angel Reese over of those that I just listed?
Guess we'll wait for their response.
Oh, we're not gonna, okay.
Because,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
But what I'm saying is, in what player, and this is no disrespect, these are the greatest players in the game right now. They asked me to rank the tier right now. And I sit in a studio at Turner with Shaq and Chuck, and some of which I think at times they do individually and personally attack people's character. And I think I pride myself on trying to be an analyst that does not do that. I do not attack character. I literally am just, from my point of view, from my opinion, this was the ranking. And so I ask again, are you taking Angel above Paige? Are you taking Angel above Arike? Are you taking Angel above Sabrina or Kelsey or Caitlin or Asia or Nafisa or Brianna? No, that does not make her a bad player. That does not make me a hater. Do I think she could be up there? Yes.
Her criticism of the players for putting on one of the worst All-Star Game performances ever was intense.
Y'all cannot come out there with those shirts of pay us what you owe us and then do that in the All-Star Game. Like, I just think that it would have really maximized the moment of wearing the shirt along with giving the product. Because I tried to watch the All-Star Game, I'll be honest. But after one slow Euro step and people pulling up for them, I was like, I can't, I'm a fan of the WNBA and I can't watch this. So I just think that, no, you all didn't have to, but I think it was an opportunity that you could have built on, like, more momentum, if that makes sense.
She is correct. It was awkward to attend that All-Star Game immediately after displaying shirts demanding payment for their debt. If we're being honest, the ratings ESPN attempted to hide would have been considerably worse if Caitlin hadn't been there to keep people interested. The tempo was slow, the energy was dull.
This year she played assistant coach and bench cheerleader throughout the game, and I'm here to tell you, if she hadn't been actively participating in her street clothes role as the bench coach and cheerleader, I'll swear those ratings would have been down another 10%.
It's evident from her interviews that Candace is aware of all of this. She is not speaking spontaneously. She is more aware of Caitlin's influence than most of the league. And I genuinely believe that's the reason she's willing to put herself in danger. Since she is aware of the facts, she is refuting the narrative that is against Caitlin. The WNBA needs leaders who will honor Clark with objectivity rather than caving into a crowd that would reportedly rather to lose with her than become irrelevant again. The mob's favorite talking point, the absurd assertion that the Fever are somehow better off without Caitlin Clark, was the target of Candace's next blow, which came just when you thought she might soften up.
They're not better without Caitlin. But I do feel like times like this, different people step up. Just like Natasha Howard stepped up during the Commissioner Cup. Yep. Like, it shows.
Here, there is no hatred for the illness. Candace is just highlighting the obvious. Although the squad has performed better without Caitlin, that doesn't imply they won't improve even more when she returns. Caitlin and the franchise star, Aaliyah Boston, are sitting there nodding in agreement. Nobody is insulted in the locker room. Candace then explains it in much greater detail.
It honestly is scary because not only are you allowing other people to step up, but you're allowing Caitlin to then survey and realize she can add.
It's only common sense. However, common sense still needs to be spoken aloud in this league. This is the reason. The old guard, who detest Caitlyn's success, are frightened by her improved talking point. Because the Fever will be competitive when she returns if they are currently in the top half of the standings without her. Millions of fans will flock out to see them play thrilling, winning basketball that makes every game an occasion. The evidence is already here. Millions of people saw Caitlyn's return performance versus the Liberty, which was one of the most electrifying ever. It will occur once more. Whether the critics like it or not, Caitlin Clark's influence will be indisputable once more when the audience returns and the ratings soar. And Candace Parker truly deserves recognition for this. She's thinking long-term and enduring the criticism that comes with it, while a large portion of the WNBA is mired in short-term pettiness, ego protection, and playing to the crowd. Ironically, many of these same individuals will advise new followers to show respect for the legends. That legend, Candace, is demonstrating what true leadership looks like. Breaking through the narratives that are dividing the league, defending the truth, and checking her ego at the door.
So you can't just say stuff. In this day and age, we have a lot of people that are just saying stuff. And with that being said, I don't want to be a part of that.
Because this is the truth. In the absence of Caitlin Clark and advocates like Candace Parker, the WNBA runs the risk of losing the greatest chance for expansion it has ever had. To let me know you made it to the finish, and to ensure Candace receives the flowers she is due, please leave a trophy in the comments if you are still here. Thank you for viewing.